Today we're going to talk about manufacturing's mixed signals, what Colorado's data is telling us about the future. We all know the news in headlines has been packed with all sorts of influencing factors that come from varying sorts. It's a matter of finding who it's going to impact, how it's going to impact, how quickly it's going to impact, because on the face of it, it's not really calculable. What we can do is we can identify what has happened, what has occurred repeatedly, and make an estimate based on that information, because that's the information that we have. And it's better than going with a gut feeling on everything. Data-backed decisions drive a more powerful, forward-focused solution. Today's episode, we're looking at two stories out of Colorado. Manufacturing, one of the industries that is going to be hit the hardest with tariffs, processes, just because there's such an operationally focused program. You take the widgets, you put the widgets on a conveyor belt, you assemble it, you put it together. Manufacturing serves as the base of that's where the Japanese developed Kaizen. It's where they developed Six Sigma, where these ideas of data influenced, data driven comes from. You measure the input, you measure what occurs in the process, then you measure the output is what it all comes down to, and how do you maintain an effective business through all these processes. Now, the federal the labor statistics, Bureau of Labor Statistics releases data sets and information and shows that manufacturing employment in Colorado fell by 0.9% in the past year. That's 1,300 jobs. It's not a positive trend, especially coming off of the strength of a 2024 year. Now, argument can be made, the cyclicality of business, we were due for a correction was typically the formative term, but we see certain industries being impacted and influenced more so than others. Denver County alone lost 5% of the manufacturing workforce. I mean, that's focused out of 0.09, or out of 0.9, nearly a percent, we'll just call it a percent, in the past year. That runs through most of 2024, 5%. What other factors can go into this? We talk about AI. AI is in the headlines everywhere, and this has got to be one of the jobs that is targeted for that. The first thought comes from automated assembly lines, the automotive factories. You can automate that process, and that's employment, right? You automate jobs, and thus it influences job there. And we don't know what AI's impact is going to be. We've been talking about it for 2 years now. 2 years ago, they said all the jobs would be gone in 6 months, but here we are, 1%, 5%. That's ebbs and flows of business cycles. Nothing extreme by any means. At the same time, out of Denver, the Thule Group for the backpacks, I went into their shop on downtown, little caveat near Union. It's a whole outdoor little adventure nook of the city that I didn't know was there. I just stumbled upon it. There's a couple in there. There's Thule, maybe Copaxi, but Thule Group out of Longmont, they're cutting 50% of the manufacturing staff this year. But it's not like it's the assembly line either. It's their product design, their logistics. And I guess my first thought on all of these things is where are these jobs going? 50% is a lot. 50% is a lot. And it goes back to AI. And everybody's talking about AI. Product design. Okay, that's something. Logistics, the analytics that go into logistics, sure. But we still got to drive the trucks. Still got to pack the boxes. On the surface might be like bad luck. But here, or AI influence. But what is the broader implication, and how do you address it? Counties like Las Animas saw a 35% drop in manufacturing jobs, but Weld County actually gained manufacturing jobs. Weld County is hot. We looked at Weld County roofing contractors by organization. Weld County had the highest year-over-year growth in the lowest amount of roofing contractors, greatest amount of opportunity. Whereas Jefferson County was saturated. Jefferson County had 13%, 12 or 13% of the total number of organizations in the state of Colorado for roofing contractors, but only accounted for 1% of the year-over-year growth. There's a lot in a little business. So wherever you are, wherever your business sits, you count for the environment around it. And that's why we talk about Colorado. That's why we talk about national statistics. It's how does the cog fit into the wheel, or the process, or the operation, because it spans across top to bottom. Everything is, it's a system, it's an organism. It all works together, it all syncs together. How does this relate to that? What is this relationship with that relationship? Thule's impact tied to discretionary customer spending. That's the jam there. Discretionary spending, the Michigan Sentiment Report, Consumer Sentiment Report, has fallen for 3 consecutive reporting periods. So consumer sentiment is down. The stock market's down. That stresses everybody out, and people don't want to spend money when they're stressed out. Even though retailers still reported people are spending money. The retail earnings came out last week before. That's still a positive sign, indicator, albeit lagging, that people are still spending money. How do we weave this data with the emotional intelligence of leading a business? Because I mention AI, we mention computers, the fast pace of the acceleration of how we're catapulting forward in everything that we're doing as an efficiency matter. What does that mean? And I still believe in my heart of hearts that whatever business you're in is a people business. We're all in the people business, no matter what business you're in. And that's because we all work with people. People are the ones that spend the money. People are the ones that show up to work. They're the ones that build the houses, build the roads. Someone's got to stand at the door. Someone's got to unlock the door to the store. Someone's got to cook the food. They got to serve it to you at the table. It's the whole restaurant industry, every shopkeep, every service, every lawyer, every accountant, every doctor. Everybody's people. And you may say one is more so than another, but like, we all serve people. That is the function of business, is to deliver value in what we can do. And check out my Thinkific community, where we talk about how to read the data. Making data-driven decisions is such an essential element to how you process what you do. There's 2 ball camps. You make the data-driven decisions. That outlines your strategy in the direction that you want to go because of X, Y, Z. I have a hypothesis. This is what I believe in, and then we test it. So you roll it out. But you look for that constant feedback. You build that back into your dashboard, your KPIs, your measurement system. You plan, organize, lead, control, monitor the process as a whole. I know when I was younger, I thought policy was silly. My last course in my undergrad was a policy. The whole class was policy. It was great. A little dry, but it really illustrated that's how organizational design is done. Why is McDonald's so successful? Because they have a repeatable process that is defined by policy, so they deliver the same service every time. Customers love consistency, and you have a good product. And your product gets better when you have a consistent product, and you identify how to improve it. And there's 100 ways to do it. Give me a shout, join the Thinkific community, let me know what's next. Smart leadership is balance. You use the data to navigate, but you use emotional intelligence to inspire the team to go in the same direction. Lead with inspiration. Lead with motivation. You want commitment. You want commitment. Seek commitment, not compliance.